In your life, what bad decision have you made and what have you learned from it?
What bad decision I made was thinking that the gym and eating healthily was all there was to life. I used to miss out on going to parties with friends.
That's what they expect you to do, like, they expect, like, oh, she wants me then, she'll want me now as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like once that one person's, like, that horrible to you, like, I think at first you're doing, like, you don't think that someone could be that mean, but then they do it, and they prove you wrong that they can be that mean.
Now, you don't need to go to the gym, and please, please, please don't go on a diet, okay? That's the first step, because it's very harmful at your age if you go on a diet.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Rea.
Hi, I'm Morgan.
Welcome back to KidsKast episode 5. Today we've got Tori with us. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Tori, I'm 22, and I'm a personal trainer from Anfield.
Obviously, I've heard your story, but the viewers don't know much about you yet. So, is it okay if we ask you some questions, please? Of course. Thanks. Okay, you start.
I'm going to start with a question for you. Do you support Everton, Liverpool or a different team, and why do you?
I'm a big red, you know. Who do you support?
Liverpool.
Liverpool, good answer. Good answer. Who's your favourite player?
Salah.
Salah.
Yeah.
Alright, so why do you think the issues of self-esteem and not liking the way you are more common occurrence in, like, today's society?
I think with how popular things like TikTok and Instagram are, very, very misleading things can be posted on that you two girls may have seen. Like, have you seen, like, what I eat in a day videos or like videos of, like, really, really tiny models on Instagram and TikTok? And if you look at the comments, some people say, oh, well, this is why I need to go on a diet. Or it's very, very, what's the word? It's not really inclusive of a lot of different body shapes, and a kind of narrative can be put forward, like, you need to go on a diet, you need to do this in the gym, you need to do that in the gym. And I just think it's really harmful, especially for young girls' self-esteem, because you're comparing yourself to these models and these really skinny girls in America and Canada and
like
England.
It's not even real. Like,
Exactly.
isn't it?
Exactly. A lot of it's face tuned, a lot of the filters. People have had, like, surgeries and plastic surgeries, and it's just not really attainable.
Yeah. Right, next question is, what made you want to, like, lose weight? Like, what started you off to, like, have, like, lose weight?
Transformation. So a little bit about me. I used to be 17 stone, and I lost 8 stone in 9 months. And I think the thing that helped me change my life was prom coming up. You'll have prom in a couple of years, won't you?
Yeah.
And it's really important, and you get really stressy about it. And you're like, I just want to look good for prom. So all my friends were wearing, like, dead tight dresses, dead fitted, dead long. And I remember having to go into a specialist shop because ASOS wasn't a thing when I was younger. Pretty Little Thing wasn't a thing. It was, you had your Top Shop, your River Island, and, like, that was it. Online shopping wasn't really a thing. So I had to go into a special shop, and it was a size 24 prom dress that I tried on. And I remember bending over, and all I heard was and the zip just went bang and ripped open. I remember crying my eyes out in the changing rooms because all I wanted to do was look like all the other girls in my nice sparkly prom dress. So that's why I lost so much weight.
Yeah.
How do you think young girls can begin the journey to being more positive and loving themselves?
Now, you don't need to go to the gym, and please, please, please don't go on a diet, okay? That's the first step, because it's very harmful at your age if you go on a diet, because it can kind of mess up your self-esteem and your relationship with food. What I'd say is to go on a journey for inner happiness would be go out and find something that you really enjoy. Like, you told me before you really love dancing, and that would help you kind of boost your self-esteem and make you feel really good about yourself when you've had a really good dance session and you're getting praise from your mum or your dance teacher. Or if you love rock climbing or cycling, or find something that you enjoy.
I like gymnastics.
You like gymnastics? Well, that's perfect. You stay at gymnastics and you find your niche, and that will kind of help you live a healthy lifestyle and kind of find your true happiness and kind of find yourself without trying to go on, like, a diet or go to the gym.
How do you think schools can prevent the bullying which happened to you?
I think kids will always be cruel, but I think maybe getting some people in to do some talks about inclusivity and kind of always thinking about how the other person feels. So like if you're in school, what you were saying before, you'd never be mean to anyone, you'd rather have some good friends than having a big group of horrible friends. I think it should be discussed and it should be talked about, that everyone should be treated the same and that everybody should be accepted no matter race, religion, how they look. It's for anything really.
Yeah. Right, so we're going to talk about like your weight loss journey. Do you know, like when first you wanted to achieve it, did you ever think you'd reach the goal that you got to today?
No. I think part of the reason why I was so successful is because I never really set any goals. I just kind of, first time I ever stepped foot in a gym, it was because my sister dragged me there against my will. She was like, "You're coming to the gym with me, that's it." And all we did was sit on the bikes and have a chat, really. And then it kind of, from that, snowballed. So I'll go on the bikes, but I'll never go on the treadmill. And then next thing you know, I was on the treadmill. I'll go, "Oh, I'd never go on the stepper." And then 3 weeks later, I was on the stepper. And then now, I'm a personal trainer doing weights all the time. So it's like the progression. I never really thought, "Oh my God, I want to lose 8 stone."
You know, like when you first, obviously, you said that you never thought you'd get to what you did today. What was like going through your head?
When I was losing the weight? Yeah. Lots of things were going through my head, really. Because it had come off quite fast. So a lot of that kind of affected me mentally, really, because if you lose like a stone in a short space of time, like a month, I couldn't recognise who was standing in front of the mirror. I still saw me from the very, very start because I did it so quickly. So that was really frustrating because if you can imagine, I'd be really, really, really tiny, but I could still see that girl that got picked on or wasn't accepted in school, and I still felt those really, really bad thoughts that I used to think about myself. I had no self-love at all.
As today as well, though, it's like more like a sexist like society, isn't it? And like it's like the gym's more like seen as like a men's thing, and it shouldn't be, should it? It should be like women and that like can do whatever men can do. Like, did you ever think about, was you ever embarrassed to go in like to the gym and see like all these big bodybuilders and all that?
Yeah, it was more, I wasn't bothered about the bodybuilders, it was more the girls in their matching sets.
Yeah.
Where they looked like Barbie and they had their hair and a big messy bun and they had like little pink matching set on, and there's me pulling me hoodie over me belly going, "I feel ashamed, I'm sat on this bike, I look so out of place, I'm 17 stone, I don't belong here." And that's what I want to change. I think the gym is a place for everybody.
Yeah, I feel like some people as well, they look down, like there's other people like they'll be starting the gym like you used to as well, and like people look at them and laugh, but then at the end of the day, like everyone started in that same like place to get where they actually are today as well.
Yeah, and it's really scary. I think if you know something's upsetting you, it doesn't have to be your weight, it could be anything. It could be having one friend that you really, really don't like, and it can be really scary saying, "I don't want to be your friend anymore," and changing it and noticing that something in your life is making you upset and getting up and changing it. It can be really, really daunting. So I commend anybody who does that. It doesn't have to be stepping foot in a gym. It could be maybe, I don't know, standing up to a friend who's really horrible to you. Just go, "I didn't like the way you spoke to me then," or "that was really hurtful to me." That's a really, really big, scary thing.
What do you know, like when you were losing weight, what's like the best and like the most like thing you were like satisfied with like in your journey?
The thing I was most satisfied with was me self-confidence, really. But again, that come from the long journey of learning how to accept myself and how to love myself, really. It was never being smaller or being bigger or looking how you think that you want to look and won't fix all your problems. It starts from within, and if you like yourself on the inside, then that's all that really matters then, because you'll get that nice glow and you'll walk into a room and you'll be dead smiley and everyone will go, "Oh my God, doesn't she look incredible?" No matter what you look like, it's all about how you feel on the inside.
What was like the background to your story? Like what got you going and like
What motivated me?
yeah.
Well, obviously breaking that dress was a really, really big deal. And I think when I was your age, I always wanted to fit in. And I think that's where I did it wrong, was because I sort of lost weight for other people and I didn't really know myself. So what kick-started my journey was the wrong things, but it kind of led me on a path towards self-love. So the biggest message that I want to teach you is please don't care about the opinions of other people. You do things that make you happy and that make you smile. And if other people laugh or giggle, then leave them to it. Like you were saying before, just if someone's horrible to you, just laugh and just smile. The best way to diffuse a bully and diffuse a nasty situation is to just laugh and just to smile, really, isn't it?
Like, in your life, what bad decision have you made and what have you learned from it?
What bad decision I made was thinking that the gym and eating healthily was all there was to life. I used to miss out on going to parties with friends. I used to miss out on having roast dinners. Or I used to not eat chocolate. And you girls know chocolate. You can't miss out on chocolate, can you?
No.
And so I think that was my biggest mistake, was to forget that life is still going on and that the be-all and end-all isn't how I look. It's more about going out and making memories and enjoying myself while I was still young.
Well, that was your bad decision, like what you're not most proud of. Like, what's like the decision that you are proud of?
The best thing I'm proud of is how far I've come, really. So I've now learned from all my mistakes and everything that I did wrong. And now because I'm a personal trainer, I'm now helping other women and other young girls kind of go about things and getting healthier and getting more mentally healthy in the right way.
Can you tell us about like your background to your like actual story?
So about back before I lost all my weight.
Yeah.
So school was absolutely awful. I never felt like I fitted in at all. Being a larger girl in school or having things that you feel like you stick out for can be really, really, really tough sometimes. And so I didn't really enjoy school at all. And I think now it's more important than ever for other people to be mindful of how other people are feeling, and especially like things you're consuming on social media. I think it's really important to think, no, that's not real. Or maybe it's not me, that doesn't fit in. Maybe what I'm seeing as normal isn't actually normal. Do you know, like Kylie Jenner and Kim Kardashian, they achieved all of that through surgery. Do you know what I mean? And it's not attainable. So you can watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but just make sure that you don't sit there and go, I really wish I could look like Kendall Jenner. Do you know what I mean?
Because if you look at it as well, most of it's not even real. Most of it's like edited or it's had the surgery, and it's just like, I think it's a bit selfish to put stuff like that on like social media, because like they don't think about like young girls could be sitting there like in reality, young girls could be sitting behind screen like sitting there crying their eyes out wishing they looked like that. But they don't realise that it's not real. It's like edited and surgery.
Exactly.
If you could go back and change one decision, what would it be? And what would you do differently about it?
What would I do differently? Eat the chocolate. And go out with friends and enjoy the journey. It doesn't have to happen overnight.
Yeah.
It's more about making memories when you're young. It doesn't matter what you eat, how you look, because you're still growing, you're still young. So my biggest advice to you girls would be, yeah, you really love dance, but if you've got a party and everyone's going, or you're going out to shopping with your friends, go and enjoy yourself and eat your chocolate bars and have your roast dinners with your family and go for like McDonald's with your friends, because that's the things that you'll look back on when you're my age, when you're 22, and go, oh, when I was 14, I remember this really, really funny day where we sat in a Liverpool one and we got loads of Skittles and we tried to see how many we could fit in our mouths and all things like that. So I'd say never, ever, ever miss out on a memory.
If you could say something like to the younger you when like you were trying to lose weight, or like you were getting laughed at or whatever, like what would you say to like your younger self?
You are loved, and it's okay sometimes that you don't fit in. Fitting in is sometimes not a good thing.
Yeah.
And that as long as you like yourself and that you know that you're okay, you are loved, you are glowing, you are beautiful, and don't listen to anybody else that tells you otherwise.
Yeah, like you'd say that to yourself, wouldn't you? What about like other girls who were suffering, like what if they were like a bit different to you, what would you maybe say to them?
What would I say to other girls?
Yeah.
Sometimes being different is a good thing, and the things that you may not like at your age, you may absolutely love when you're older. So for example, I know you love your hair But some girls, I know a girl in my school, she absolutely hated her ginger hair, but now she's celebrated for it and that she absolutely loves it. So never think that being different is a disadvantage.
Because, like, say if, like, people are different, people, like, some people might not like that, but some people would, like, love your difference and they're trying to do it themselves. So, like,
Well, have you seen, what's her name, Winnie Harlow? And she's got that skin condition where she has spots on her skin and they're all different colours. But now I'm sure she got picked on for that when she was younger, but now she's a really high top model. So sometimes being different's a really, really good thing and you want to stand out from the crowd a little bit.
you don't want to be the same because it's boring.
Exactly.
If, like, say some of your bullies are watching this video now, what would you, like, want to say to them?
I forgive you, really. And I know sometimes that people do horrible things, not necessarily because it's your fault. Sometimes people are going through things at home and that's not an excuse, but there's always a wider reason why sometimes that one girl in school is just extra horrible to you, because it kind of, that's her way of dealing with things. She may not have had a good upbringing or she may have been through some stuff at home, and even though it's not an excuse, you kind of grow older and just think, oh, it's forgiven now. That was in the past, it's forgiven. And I think that's the most important thing. Don't hold grudges. If someone's horrible to you, just laugh it off and forgive them, because you never know what someone else is going through.
If you're seeing, like, someone going through what you were going through, would you stick up for them?
Most definitely. I think even if it's getting picked on for something else, it could be the hair colour, or like my mum, when she was younger, used to get skitted for her really big ears because she had big ears that stood out. And I think that that's absolutely gorgeous, and I think that differences should be celebrated in people. So I 1,000,000% would stand up for someone, because bullying, no matter what it is, it's just wrong. No, exactly. There's a personal trainer who works in my gym, and his mum was really, really poor when he was growing up, and his mum had to knit his school jumper, and it was a slightly different colour to everyone else's school jumper, but he got picked on for that. But none of the other kids knew that his mum was working 2 jobs and was really poor. Everyone else just saw him and went, you're different, look.
They just do it. They
Exactly.
don't think about what people could be going through.
And how that could have affected him. So if you ever see that in school, I think it's really important to stand up to them and go, no, that's wrong, because the more people that stand up to it, the less people will do it.
Even if you get, like, something said to you for sticking up, just say, well, I'm being the better person.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, people who, like, pick on people, they're insecure themselves, and they don't, like, instead of letting other people notice them, they pick on other people because they don't want to be noticed. But I think it's sad, because in themselves, they're probably different. They probably don't like themselves, but instead of picking on other people, they need to think, like, no, I need to stop, this is not right. They need to, like, what's the word? They need to, like, be confident and independent instead of, like, pick on other people.
Instead of harassing other people, like other students.
Because they're struggling. I think everyone around your age in secondary school kind of goes through a phase where they don't know who they are, and they're struggling with that, because it's really hard. You're a growing teenager, and it's really hard, especially in school when all you want to do is fit in. So sometimes it's easier for other kids, because they're struggling with themselves, to pick on others, so that their focus isn't on them then.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good that you girls have noticed that sometimes bullies are insecure themselves, and you know that it's not right.
Yeah.
Who or which person do you look up to today, like, who's your inspiration?
Me mum. I absolutely adore me mum. Me mum would literally give you the shirt off her back. So when before I even started trying to lose weight, she'd beg and she'd plead, and she'd say, I'll give you the personal trainer, or if you lose a stone, I'll give you the 50 quid, or anything that she could to motivate me. But if I didn't want to change, so I was just like, no, I'm not having a girl who's always been skinny all of her life tell me what to do. She doesn't know how I feel. She's never walked in my shoes. I'm not having it. And then when I kind of did have that pivotal turning point, when I did break that dress in the changing rooms, she'd come to the gym with me every day. She'd do workout DVDs with me at home. She'd cook food for me, all things like that. So I think my mum is my biggest inspiration, most definitely.
That's good, that, though, because, like, some people don't have that, so you were lucky to have, like, a mum like that. Because most people, if they say if like you didn't have your mum there, do you think you'd be where you are today or not?
Probably not, no.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who was dealing with like the things that you were, so like negative body image, name calling and all that?
The biggest advice I'd give to somebody who's going through negative body image would be to take each day at a time. It's all about how you look at things. So if you look at, I could say this water bottle, oh, that's half empty, that. But on the flip side, it's also half full. And not every day you're going to have a positive attitude, but even if, say if you have 5 bad days this week, even if next week you have 4, that's still massive progress. So say if somebody really hated what they looked like in the mirror, I'd challenge them to get up and say, well, you know what, I may not like this, but I have gorgeous teeth. I may not like this, but I have really, really nice hair. You're just flipping what you're focusing on, or like you may get picked on for that you've got a big nose. Go, well, I really love my teeth and I really love my hair. It doesn't fix it straight away, but it just puts you into that little positive mindset just to start the day with. It's just challenging how you think.
How did you deal with the negative bullying?
I wasn't necessarily bullied per se in school, but I always thought that I'd never fit in.
Yeah.
And it can be really, really hard at your age, that the only thing that you care about in this world is fitting in school. And I remember we used to have to do PE in Sefton Park, and we used to have to run this really, really big track. And obviously being a bigger girl, I had lumps and bumps that I'd jiggle all the time, and there'd be really, really skinny girls who did running outside of school who just breezed through it. And everyone had finished in 15 minutes. I'd be still there at the 30 minutes, like that. Absolutely, completely just finished. And even if people aren't, I always thought they're laughing at me, they're looking at me, they don't like me, which was really, really, really hard to deal with in school, which is why I absolutely hated it. But I think now, looking back, maybe they weren't laughing at me. Maybe that was just the way that I saw myself. Maybe that was my bad mental health, thinking, everyone hates me, oh my God, it's the end of the world, I don't fit in, I can't wear the same thing. All my friends had boyfriends and wore jeans. I could never fit into a pair of jeans, and I wouldn't have dreamt that I had a boyfriend because I didn't like myself. Now, it's not about what you wear, what you look like. If you look at Marilyn Monroe, she was a bigger girl, she was a size 14. Yeah. Or like Kim Kardashian, the trend now is big curvy people. Or what's her name now? Tess Holiday, is that her name? She's a larger model. And it's how you carry yourself. If you walk into a room with your head held high and the biggest smile on your face, doesn't matter what you look like, what you're wearing, people will go, wow, isn't she amazing? Because they can tell instantly that you're confident, that you're happy and you like yourself, and that even if someone says something horrible to you, you'll go, oh well, that's your opinion, and you'll just laugh it off.
Yeah, because most people as well, like, say if they're trying to like achieve like a certain weight or a certain way they want to look, like they've suffered with like bad like mental health, haven't they? And like probably like I'd say like well over half people trying to achieve like a certain weight goal have got like eating disorders and all that. Did you ever suffer with something like that?
I did. I suffered from anorexia. So I had something called body dysmorphia. So basically, because I lost a lot of weight so fast, I didn't see what I actually looked like in the mirror. So you may look at me and think, oh yeah, slim girl, in shape, but in the mirror, I still saw the girl that I was. And I'm not sure if you've seen pictures, but I was absolutely, like, I wouldn't have fit in this chair. I was huge. And it was really, really crazy because I just put so much pressure on myself, and I kept pushing it the other way because I myself couldn't see what it actually looked like. And I think things like MyFitnessPal, tracking your calories, sometimes if you're in a really negative mental space or if you're young and impressionable, things like that can be really, really harmful. Like, I don't want you girls knowing what a calorie is and how many calories is in a chocolate bar. That is nothing
to do with.
No, you don't need to know that.
To eat what you want.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what you eat. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I got obsessed with that because I I struggled with what I saw in the mirror and my sense of self-worth, because I thought being skinny would solve all your problems. That's all I wanted, was to be size 6, be size 4. That's all I wanted. So I used to track all my calories. I remember crying if I ate an apple, and I was 17. I ate an apple and I cried. I kept fainting, kept passing out, all because I wanted to be skinny. It doesn't solve anything. As if you like yourself on the inside and you like how you look, then that is the most important thing.
Not what anyone else thinks of.
Exactly.
Yeah. Was there ever like a moment where like you were getting like fed up and you just wanted like to completely stop it?
Yeah, there was a moment like that. I remember I was still in school, 16, and I'd lost about, this was just after prom, so I'd lost about 2 stone at this point. And I remember that it was a really big deal, because I don't know, do you remember Topshop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Topshop was like the shop. Everyone loved Topshop, and I could never fit in Topshop because I was too big. And I remember I squeezed myself into these size 16 shorts, and I felt incredible. I styled my hair after Perry from Little Mix. I had a little braid in my hair. I felt gorgeous, and I felt dead confident. And I went to this girl's party, and there was a boy there that everybody really, really fancied. Everyone thought he was gorgeous. And I remember him speaking to me, and I'm going, oh my God, this boy's talking to me. I've lost 2 stone. I feel incredible. I'm in Topshop, and this boy's speaking to me. And a couple of the girls were sniggering at me and laughing at me. And I got pulled aside by this girl, and she said, I don't feel comfortable with what's happening here. The boys are having a competition of who can kind of flirt with the ugliest girl. And he was speaking to me. And I remember just bursting out into tears, ringing my mum, please can I come home, please can I come home. Mum had to drive all the way to pick me up from this party. First ever party I'd been invited to, because when I started losing weight, I started getting invited to parties and things, which was weird.
Sure, they're being invited anyway, because it's like, that's not real friends who invite you to stuff like that.
Exactly.
Because they don't like you for who you are, it's
Yeah.
what they look like.
Yeah, exactly. And I just remember being an absolute, I was going, what's the point? I've lost 2 stone, I'm in Topshop, and I'm still getting picked on.
What you want.
Yeah.
Because they've seen you achieve that goal, and obviously they've thought you're never going to do that.
Yeah.
And then they've seen you do it, and they've got jealous, and they don't like that you're happy.
No, exactly. But funny thing is, when I'd lost all the weight, the same boy messaged me.
Yeah.
And I was going, should I? And I was like, I'll be the bigger person and just ignore him. But I was so wanted to go, yeah, okay, I'll go out with you, and just completely have the worst date in my life. But I thought, no, you know what? You've got to be a big person. And I think that's a really hard thing, is being the bigger person and just brushing it off your shoulder.
That's what they expect you to do. Like, they expect, like, oh, she wants me then, she'll want me now as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like once that one person's, like, that horrible to you, like, I think at first you're doing, like, you don't think that someone could be that mean, but then they do it, and they prove you wrong that they can be that mean, and it just totally puts you off them, doesn't it?
It was just the fact that everyone was laughing. It was like this massive inside joke that every single person had that I wasn't involved in, and I was like the butt of the joke.
Well, why invite you then?
I know. And that was the moment where I just wanted to give up and quit. And the one food that I'd give up when I was losing my weight was pizza, because that was my comfort food. If I had a really, really horrifically bad day, I'd go home and I'd order Domino's. That was my guilty pleasure. So I was like, I'm never eating pizza again. And when I went home, I was like, I really want a Domino's. But I didn't get one. And I stuck at it.
I think like that, it makes you, like, say if like you're thinking about something like that, like nowadays especially, because like there's a big image that like, everyone wants to be like this, everyone wants to be like that, like, but there's no point. You might as well just be yourself. Instead of like, you could make yourself, you could work on yourself, and you could be whatever you want to be. Is easier than going out to get plastic surgery and all that stuff, like, and trying to be this like big person who you see on like Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok or whatever, like all social media now is just like, none of it's real. And like, I don't get like why people would want to put stuff out there knowing that they could be a little girl, or even like an older women could be sat there like crying behind the screen wanting to be like that.
Yeah. The thing is, with TikTok and Instagram, it's all a trend. Now it's being curvy and having an hourglass figure, but back in the 70s it was called heroin chic, and everyone wanted to be as skinny as possible, and everyone wanted a really, really tiny bum, and everyone wanted to be really, really just slim and tall and long. But that now would get picked on and bullied because
And
they're not
called
curvy.
lanky.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So at the end of the day, we can't win.
Can't.
We can't win. And your mental health and your self-love is not a trend. It doesn't matter if you don't have a bum like Kim Kardashian, and it doesn't matter if you don't have legs like Kendall Jenner. It doesn't matter at all, because it will one day come in and out of fashion.
It's mad as well though, because like you think about, like, say if like on TikTok for example, I think you like, I've probably seen it anyway, people like, they like, say if people with a gap in the teeth, they'll draw a black line in the middle of the teeth,
Yeah.
and like sort of like clone it and try to be them,
Yeah.
and like make a joke out of it. But really, like, people out there, like, they might love their gap in the teeth, and then they'll see a video like that, and then they'll think the absolute opposite, and then they'll start hating themselves as they actually are. But really, they should like love themselves for who they are.
Well, have you seen that trend where it's like people go from like really, really ugly and they put all the makeup on and they look dead nice? They always start off with glasses, spots, and they put
A gap in the
a gap
teeth.
in the teeth, which
Mess
is
up
really
the hair.
harmful.
I
Which
know.
is really harmful.
Yeah.
Or like they'll do like a big double chin like this, and I'm like, well, maybe I used to have a double chin. I wonder if I watched that when I was 16, that would really, really upset me, because that is the before. That's what is undesirable. But at the end of the day, again, it's still a trend. It really is. It comes and it goes, and it doesn't matter if big boobs or anything is trending on TikTok, because in a few years' time they'll get made fun of.
Yeah.
no, because you know when they do that makeup thing, they don't be they probably like
They don't really look like that now.
they don't, yeah, they just do it. Because imagine if someone watched it and they actually do look like that, like they have to think how other people think
Because like people,
before they do anything.
Yeah.
harmful.
people say stuff, and then like say if like someone gets called you're too skinny, and then they try to put weight on, and then it's you're too fat, and then they lose it, and
Well, it's like if you spend your life trying to please other people and trying to fit in with your friends and fit in with what society thinks, you'll never win, really,
Or,
because
like,
somebody always has something nasty to say. I've even gotten trolled. So I lost all the weight and I went really thin. People were going, you're too thin, you look ill. So then I gained a bit of weight, started going to the gym. And like even now, I remember being in the Daily Mail and I read, it was an article because I was in a Miss Liverpool pageant, because I wanted again to spread the message that it doesn't matter what you look like, it doesn't matter where you've come from, it doesn't matter anything, what you wear, race, religion, anything, that all beauty comes from within, really.
and it's not what you look like, it's
Yeah.
what your personality is.
Exactly, it's how you shine, it's how you glow, and how you hold yourself.
And like people, like, they want to be mates with someone because, oh, they're so pretty, they're so popular. It shouldn't be like that. It should be you want to be friends with someone because they're nice to you and they've got a good personality.
Yeah, well, there was like this thing, and it said like, I only want to be the friend because they're popular. But so what if they're popular? Doesn't mean like they could be popular, and then have like a bad personality or something.
And I remember being in school and I used to look at the popular girls and go, oh, wish I was like that. But a lot of the times, the girls that were popular in school, that's where they peaked. Sometimes it's not, I know it seems like the end of the world when you're in school and all you want to do is fit in and be popular, but sometimes it doesn't matter. Because when you leave school, you're never going to see them again. The only people that you'll see again are your friends that you like, and if they're kind and they're nice to you and you're friends with them, not because they're popular, because you like them, then yours will be friends for life and you won't see the popular girls again.
It's like most of the popular girls, well, not all of them, like, but some of them, they do things that people say just to like show off and like make a joke. But then the people who do that, like probably now, people who act like that in the future, they're not gonna get nowhere. They like people who like nerds or whatever get called nerds and all that. They'll be like, probably in the future they'll be up here doing whatever they want. And then people who think they're all like big and hard, but they're really not, they'll be down here.
Yeah,
They'll be
that's
still
what
like
everyone.
they'll be still in college, and then other people will be out like living their dreams.
Exactly.
Still down below, and then they'll think, they go, oh, I wish I didn't do this to make people laugh. I wish I didn't do this to like disrupt the class or whatever.
Yeah.
Because then they're not getting nowhere.
I remember a boy from school, I went to sixth form with him, and he was dead popular, and everyone in school was a bit scared of him, and he was one of them, dead mouthy. And a couple of weeks ago, I put something on my Instagram, because one of my clients that I work with, she's gone from eating 6 takeaways a week. She used to just have an addiction to Uber Eats and McDonald's, and now she sent me a picture of a tea, and she had lettuce in it and tomatoes and cucumber, because I said to her, it's your challenge to have one vegetable a day. I don't care how many calories you eat, I don't care this, don't care that. One vegetable a day, put some cucumber in your burger. And he took that screenshot of her burger and put it all over Twitter, saying that I'm a really bad person and I'm encouraging eating disorders in women, because there's a thing called MyFitnessPal where you track all your calories, and I'd never let somebody do that if they were like me in the head, where I'd take it too far, because sometimes it's useful, especially when you've got a holiday coming up. It's useful to look at what you're eating for a health standard, and you want to be eating your vegetables and eating your fruit and things like that. So I tell her to put all of her things in, so I can say at the end of the week, oh look, she's had lettuce with a burger, or she had asparagus with a steak. He put a screenshot of that up on Twitter, and absolutely tried rinsing me when he knows nothing about fitness, nothing about health, nothing about the work that I've done.
Because like he knows you're the better person and you're doing the right thing, and he thinks he's all like big and he knows what to do when he clearly doesn't know nothing about fitness.
Because I wasn't popular in school, I was dead quiet, and if someone said something to me, I'd just go and just keep my mouth shut. So he still thinks I'm that same person, and he was dead popular in school, and now he who laughs longest, really, isn't it? Because he was unpopular in school and he's got nothing better to do. He's on his holidays and he had nothing better to do than look at my things and make a comment.
It's amazing, just block button.
Exactly. Just have to laugh it off, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Alright, so thanks for thanks for coming to chat with us. I think that's most of the questions. Yeah. But as Tori's been saying, never let anyone ever get you down, and do what you want to do and don't do what like other people want you to do. Do what you want, and
at the end of the day, all them people who was bullying are just jealous of you, and also like they just want attention, basically.
Do what makes you happy. Don't care about anyone else. Whatever makes you happy. That's most important.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Bye guys.
Bye.